Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85 back today with my latest video, my latest figure review. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at my Bandai Popynica 2004 Gotengo figure. So this one I was definitely super excited to be able to get. I got this figure not all that long ago. I did order it off of eBay, and just really was happy to have this. So before I had the Gashapon version of this Gotengo figure, but I wanted a more standard size figure, one that'll go, in line with my more standard 6 to 7 inch figures, which this is in that range. It's about, lengthwise, about 7 inches long. We'll go back into that a little bit later. But definitely wanted this, as well as some of the other Toho machines and vehicles, which I did get. I got a bunch of the Toho Machine Chronicles vehicles, including the Super X, Super X2, and some of the others, which I'm definitely planning to review in the future. So definitely, stay tuned for those ones. But for today, going along with, since obviously if you guys have been following along, my last few videos have been all Final Wars figures. So finishing out the round of Final Wars figures that I have in my collection, I wanted to go ahead and take a look at this guy. Really just an awesome piece. Definitely looks great, I think. Before we go ahead and jump into the figure review itself, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of this, some of the stuff that it came with here. So again, this is the 2004 version of the Gotengo, not the original version from, I believe, 1963's Atragon. This is the one from Godzilla Final Wars, so do keep that in mind. But starting out with here, I do, as you guys can take a little look-see here, have the box for you. And you know what, I'll go ahead and let me lift up the camera actually so you guys can take a little look around here. So you can see copyright 2005, I believe that's when this figure was actually released. Taking a look all around again, the Bandai logoing, a picture of the vehicle itself. And then of course you see the 50th anniversary 2004 for obviously when this came from Godzilla Final Wars, released from 2004, and there you've even got the Final Wars logoing there, titling. And there's a look on the bottom side of the box here with some legal jargon, another picture of the vehicle, and then you got this side here. Let me go ahead and let's turn that around so you guys can see that. See what it comes with there. Very cool shots there. I like that picture with Gigan. That's a really cool image when Gigan was chasing the Gotengo and they ended up in the North Pole. And then of course the flap that opens up there on that side, a little side image there, and then another image on the other side there. So, very nice little box. I wanted to keep it in there, and especially since I don't always have it out, it's good to be able to have it stored away. The other thing that it comes with here, very simple, comes with this little styrofoam box, and that's where the Gotengo itself actually goes into inside the box. So you got this lid here, and then you look inside and you got the inserts where the Gotengo and the base comes in. So, very cool. Make sure you guys can see all that again. And just a plain styrofoam box otherwise. So, yeah, just taking a quick little look-see there. And as you can see, it just closes up. And I'll put that off to the side. And now going ahead and taking a look at the figure itself. Well, right before that, let me take it off of the stand here, the base. So this base comes with, it's just a plain black base, as you guys can see, but lengthened obviously to kind of match the shape of the Gotengo. You've got these two sort of support arms with these prongs on them. These do come separate, and then you just connect them in there. You can kind of see the grooves. Very nice. It's the underside here with the Toho copyright information there. See if you guys can see that. Looks pretty good. And then, yeah, just a very basic, generic base there for it, but it definitely gets the job done. It looks good on there. So then the figure itself here, the ship. So the Gotengo mostly done in this sort of grayish black color. As you can see, this to give it like a very metallic, you know, sort of ship-like look to it, I guess you can say, and it's very, very nicely done. Again, the paint and detail work here. You can see all these segments and paneling done along the ship there. Really, really everything etched in very, very well, nice and textured as well. Just a ton of detail put into this. It's just really, really mind-blowing when you actually see this in person there. You got to take a quick look at the front of the ship here. You do have the drill, again, sculpted very, very nicely. You got that sort of three-prong tip where you do know that that beam fires out from that tip there. Very, very cool drill. Here's these sort of side flaps on either side. Almost sort of, I don't know what these are supposed to be, like rotors or what they're supposed to be, but these side flaps that they've got here. And you got this sort of top area of the ship. Again, this area and this part of the ship, these are both, by the way, done in a die-cast material, so it's not just plain Jane plastic, which is really cool. Now down here for this, I don't know, sort of engine room hole of the ship with the thruster there, and you can see the thruster again detailed very nicely, assuming the camera picks that up for you guys. There you go. Again, all the paneling and everything, those nice sort of bumpy sort of bottom parts of that ship there. Again, detailed very well. Very, very nice. Again, looks really, really good here. But anyways, though, so you guys can see all that, and this part here is done in a more plastic material, as are the flaps, and then these sort of back wing pieces, if you will, and these are sort of a more malleable, softer sort of plastic, so you can mess with them a little bit. I wouldn't get too crazy because you just still don't want to run the risk of breaking anything. You want to be careful here. But again, looks really good. Again, you can see the bottom part of the ship. I don't know if that's a paint scuff or if that's supposed to be there, that little red dot. But nonetheless, everything looks really, really good. Again, all the paneling, all the segments. Here you guys can see you got some holes where some screws were put in. And again, this is, like I said, this is a, you know, this main part of the ship is a die-cast material, so it's really, really cool to see. On either side, too, you have this sort of red paint that goes along the side of the main part of the ship as well. I'm not really sure if that's movie accurate or not. I'm trying to remember. I don't really recall that sort of red, like, patterning here on the ship, but it does make it pop a little bit more, so I do have to give it that. And it looks like it was kind of sprayed on, so you guys can see it's not 100% even on either side, so a little bit of slop as far as that goes, but it really doesn't detract too much from it, not at all. And then, of course, where the drill is as well, you've got this sort of metallic silver paint, again, with all the detailing. So just paint and detail work all around is really, really, really awesome. So you guys can see when you're ready to put it back on the stand, it's just very simple and easy. I don't know 100% sure if this is exactly the way it's supposed to go, but I've seen some other reviews and they have theirs displayed like that. So that's how we're going to roll with it. But anyways, though, to take it back off of here and just look at articulation. So there are actually a few points of articulation. First and foremost, very, very awesome. The drill does rotate. And of course, it can rotate either direction, and it can just spin all day, of course. So really, 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 really cool. And it's not even hard to move. It's quite simple. It's not like real loose, but it moves nice and smoothly. And you can even feel a little bit of like a clickety feel to it as you're rotating it. Very, very cool. And then the other point, these flaps do actually have some articulation. You can move them. I have seen instances where these have broken on people. So if you do move them, I would recommend very minimal movement. I mean, to me, I don't really need to move it a whole lot, but, you know, Yeah, you can see it's a little bit stiff at some points. I wouldn't get too crazy moving these, but you know, it is there, so you can see sort of hinges that they're attached onto. But like I said, you can run the risk of breaking it if you get too crazy, so I would be mindful of that. But that pretty much covers it now for the, like I said, for the paint and detail and the articulation. So again, kind of back to sizing, I did briefly touch on before, this ship is essentially, you know, in the 7-inch range if you're measuring from the tip of the drill all the way back to this thruster here. It's a roughly 7-inch figure. And it will, you know, it might be a little big for you know, sizing in with your standard 6 to 7-inch figures, but I still think it looks really, really cool with them. And just to kind of show a little size comparison, I do have, once again, my NECA 1954 Godzilla figure. Kind of thinking he might be my go-to as far as when I do sizing goes, because he's in that 6 to 7-inch range. So obviously your figures in that scale are going to size up well with him. So again, you guys can see here, just kind of showcasing, trying to put him in the background because otherwise I don't have my camera on the tripod today. I didn't really need it for the Gotengo, so just to kind of see right there. And I think it looks really cool. I like it anyways. So you can see, of course, we won't be in view well, but I'll lift the camera up just so you guys can see a little bit like that. I think it looks pretty darn cool. So I like it. Anyways, I think it looks awesome. So as far as price-wise goes, now do keep in mind this figure is not really very common. This is a bit more on the rare side. Times that I've seen it, I would say you're going to probably look to pay between $50 and $100 for it. So it is, like I said, it is kind of on the pricey side, especially for what you get. You know, basically a vehicle that's going to be meant as a display piece. But nonetheless, just because of the rarity of it and because it is a really nice piece, if you're in the market and you've got the funds, I do definitely recommend it. I think Bandai Popynica did a great job with this figure. So you really can't go wrong. And if you like the Final Wars Gotengo, definitely major thumbs up there. I know you can't see my thumbs, but you get the point though, folks. So that does pretty much cover it. And that also runs through the Final Wars figures that I had, including my last few videos before this one. So thinking about what I'm going to do next, but you know, obviously we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I have plenty of figures to review. Like I said, in the future, maybe not directly, but certainly in the future, I'm planning to review those Toho Machine Chronicles figures. And yes, by the way, those are also pretty rare and you know, fairly expensive as well, for the most part. So I will warn you about that in advance. But nonetheless, though, really cool, especially if you like the vehicles. Really awesome to be able to have these in your collection. Like I said, though, that does pretty much cover it for this video, folks. I would definitely like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.